towards Martinez Travel Center, blocking both southbound lanes, and somebody came around that corner and over the little rise and went under the trailer and killed him. So it's happening on a constant basis up there. But so my concern is for this board is we've talked about county fire services in some of our outlying areas, and they're in serious difficulty budget-wise, and they don't have the money to put it up. So I think what was offered to them was the same contract as they had last year, and they told me flat out, we're not going to accept it. If they don't accept it, what's our alternative?
The alternative is to increase it, I would imagine. Where you get the funds to do it, I don't know.
Well, let's look at it this way. Fred, how long have we been providing full-time coverage or service to Ocotillo?
It started in January full-time.
And as a result, these are new requests for funding, the fund for next year, et cetera, and that was expected, so that's why I agree with your request here, et cetera.
I agree with his request. I'm bringing this up because he's requested also these other things, which is fine. I'm going to tell you, I don't have a problem with your CIP request. My concern is where the money's coming from, is that we're not spending West Shore impact dollars for other things. I just want that question answered. If it's okay to do that legally, then we got legs to stand on, okay.
And that would come from the general accounting office or the auditor's office and the CEO's office to make sure that
In county council.
Those funds are being spent as they were allocated for.
So I'm making an official request that I want a report back to us as soon as possible on those impact fees. And I want an opinion of do impact fees have to be spent in the area from which they're collected? And if that's the case, then shouldn't the dollars be segregated?
Yeah, we can certainly get that. We have talked to the consultant that prepared that, and based on their methodology, their response has been that is not a correct interpretation of the law, because our cost for capital for the fire department is much greater than just the immediate area.
That all sounds good. I just haven't seen that report, and I'd have a lot of questions of them. How we could justify, I can see some of the administrative overhead costs of providing offices that's divided up amongst the entire county's fire structure and area. That's fine, there would be some cost to that, in providing that space. But providing a fire station in Heber or Ocotillo or Winter Haven or Cala is not going to fly in that. But so I'd have some questions about that. But I'd like to have that report and answer those questions. And then the other open question is, in this budget act, just to let these gentlemen to my right know, is that we have another fire district out there that has said, as late as this morning, and in the meetings we had, you know that they sat there and said, look, if we have to have more money, or else. And the or else is, we're not going to sign the contract, and we will not provide the fire coverage. And if they don't, then we have to, right? And that puts us in an Ocotillo fire station situation. Full-time firefighters at 2 fire stations. And how many people do you have in Ocotillo to man one 24/7?
6 full-time.
6 full-time.
And we have one other fire department that
Collected in the numbers and not having a full-blown discussion about something is really a reorganization.
Well, it's not even a reorganization, but it is for authorized positions, allocations, which is part of the budget discussion in the back of your big binder before the position requests, authorized position allocations. It has to do with that. So I think what he's trying to do is explain to us why all of these numbers for his department are here and being recommended by the CEO's office.
And there was a discussion about whether it was to take this separately or do it during the budget process, and I think it fell under the...
I really think it's misplacement.
So that's what you're trying to clean up all of that stuff over years and years of...
Right. And I think we've accomplished that. And again, HR and my staff and certain CCOs have been working on this for about a year. It's not going to cost the county any money any differently. It's just going to allocate positions differently. And I think it actually is going to save us a lot of money in terms of the cost of the constant recruitment. And we're establishing competencies
Right.
and sort of thing in terms of how people get promoted. But it would then put us in position for a lot of our positions would be not unlike the attorneys in the different departments and different, where they would be promoted as opposed to having to go through a process. Right now, a lot of people have been in our department are really good employees, but they're stuck at certain positions because there's no openings, because we only have positions allocated, so many positions at a senior level, so many positions at a mid-level, and so many positions at the entry level. So this would fix a lot of problems organizationally, and I think in terms of cost to the county.
What's the total, Mike, of change in number of positions? I mean, there's several categories on here,
Ultimately, the only place where we're actually going to increase positions, we're going to add some positions, and I can talk about those positions, but we're going to be getting rid of a lot of positions, so I think it's almost a wash, isn't it?
So currently there's, Ron Grassi, Director of Human Resources, currently there's 373 positions allocated, and when all this is done, there's going to be 293. So what it is there's 80 allocations.
How many people, warm bodies are working as opposed to how many will be working after this? That's the number.
There won't be any difference except for the new positions that we have put in here, and let me tell you a little bit about those.
Yeah, that's what that's my question I have.
all right, you said, Ron, it was 353?
There's
373?
373 current allocations,
Uh-huh.
and at the end result, there's going to be 293. So it's a
reduction
reduction of 80 allocations.
Okay, of the 80, there's 80 positions that are unfilled right now,
Right.
right?
And we have no intent of filling.
No, we do. We have a tremendous number of extra help right now, that in a lot of these positions, then we're going to be able to open up. We have a number of people that we have not been able to hire because we've been waiting on job descriptions. Part of what we're doing is new job descriptions. For instance, we have to have a certain number of psychotherapists in our department. We've had a number of people graduate from the University of Phoenix, let's say, with a master's in marriage and family therapy. We did not have a position for a marriage and family therapist intern position. So we're asking for that job description to be adopted, and we're allocating positions, new positions for that, which would be a mental health counselor one.
But Mike, you had 373, it's going to go down to 293, eliminating 80 positions. Because the 80 that are being eliminated are unfilled.
Right.
Right.
So we'll end up with 293 funded
How many are currently
vacant.
filled with
Limited term?
limited term?
Yeah, of the
Now, with extra help,
extra help.
off the top of my head, I don't know.
All of them? Some of them?
So you're going to be left with 293 positions, of which are all funded, right?
All of them are funded. Correct.
Okay, but not all filled.
Not all filled.
Okay, and you're going to try to fill all those positions.
Some of them depending on what happens over the course of the year in terms of the governor's budget.
Right.
But separate from the 293, how many additional positions are you going to fill?
Well, the new ones that we're talking about are included in that 293. Right.
So
So
there
we've
won't
got
be
rid of some positions and we're adding in some new positions.
Okay.
We're changing some things. So
I'm
We're
in
just
that.
changing classification.
right, we're
Yeah.
creating some new classifications and we're eliminating some stuff that we don't
Well, like
use.
for example, you have a supervising behavioral health counselor, you have a mental health counselor, a mental health worker supervisor, a licensed vocational nurse 3. So some new classifications you're putting in here as well,
Correct.
amongst the 293.
And for let's say for instance, on the substance abuse counselor, we've got the job classification. Some of those we've already come in front of the board. We've held off, a lot of those people right now are extra help, we've held off hiring anybody because the state requirements for that particular position has changed, so we couldn't hire anybody until we changed the job description. For instance, they have a certain amount of time to get certified, to get registered, and then to get certified as a substance abuse counselor. That wasn't under the old law, so we can't hire anybody until we have that in the new job description, because if they don't maintain their certification, we'll have to let them go.
Roberta or whoever, is this contained in our documentation here?